Dude,
Why you doing I actually love this class in the middle of
just turn me off. I am trying to do not my work.
Can I have your brownies?
because I hate that.
Piper, I taste oxygen and see colors. You don't want to eat these.
Okay, class. Our new topic is do what you want. Because I'm done teaching this class. Now you can see this is really important because Mr. Corkins, you can teach them for now. Bye. Okay, class. Since I'm your new teacher, we're doing a new subject. Top 5 nicest kids in this class. Number 1, Piper. Number 2, Piper. Number 3, Piper. Number 4, Piper. Number 5, Logan. As you can see, he would be higher, but he's currently on the floor because he's allergic to the color of red.
Age is dating Master Chief.
Look at my face. Do you see how shocked I am?
Yeah, basically, Paige wasn't hugging Caleb enough, and she started hugging chairs because she wasn't getting enough attention, and then they broke up, and then Paige started dating Master Chief.
Wow. Actually, I knew it would have worked. It worked. Look at me, it worked.
Oh yeah, as Mr. Corkins, I love being a teacher.
So guys, I have to do another project. Do you know what that means? That means time traveling. Go to our time machine and let's go back to the Soviet Union. Yeah. First, I have to go get somebody. I got Coname. Well, you also turned Paige into Stephen Hawking. Who cares? She isn't a main character. Mr. Corkins, that is exactly why Piper looked like Taylor Hanson. Hey, outsiders, what are you doing? Ooh. I kill Soviet with Coname. Okay, guys. As you can see, we're in Russia. That means Soviet Union. So first in Europe back in 1890, back in the 1890s, Russia was poor, stuck in the past because it's a big country. But the rest of Europe was thriving. Hot air balloons, chopping off people's heads. Italy, and basically the reason why Russia was stuck in the past was because Russia was controlling its country by borrowing in air quotes every single one of the land, which basically means they own you, the house, your pet, land, food, Target, Kiba. Anyways. There was 2 types of people called the czars, and aka the rich and the serfs, the poor. And of course, Tsar Alexander the second freed the slaves but taxed them heavily. Tsar Alexander was blown up and died, and then Alexander. I am Alexander the second, and they absolutely love my job. Everybody loves me. They are throwing flowers, pink petals, bread, other Russian stuff, vodka, high-grade military explosives. Little Alexander, your dad has a mild case of getting blown up by a terrorist. There he is right now on his hospital bed. Go visit him. Son, they did this to me. Look at me. They turned me into the worst possible thing ever. They turned me Canadian. The third came into power. And of course, Alexander the third reprimanded anybody that he didn't like. So, what do you mean? You like Miss McCann? Nobody likes Miss McCann, and I am banishing you to the worst place ever, Miss McCann's room, or Siberia. You can get to choose. Canadians, the British, stuff like that. Okay. And then of course he died. And of course Nicholas the third got into power after getting his head chopped off by a Japanese policeman. Real story, by the way. Look that up. Nicholas didn't know how to rule Russia, but he was chosen by God. And Russians. Then he gave all of his people free beer and pretzels, like a lure, and then partied with the French and lost all of their respect. And then a bunch of people switched to communism with a dude called Vladimir Lenin. And of course, Vladimir Lenin was a hot-tempered jerk. You pig-brained, fat-headed, smooth-brained, air-conditioning white unit 6016 idiot. Piper is way better than Mary. And basically the reason that he came in power was this little thing called communism. And back in the day, back in 1870, I think, Karl Marx invented communism. What basically they would stand up to rulers, throw them over, and then of course everybody gets equal. For example, doctors and farmers get paid the exact same. For example, if Pepsi is a currency, doctors get five Pepsis and farmers get 5 Pepsis. Which they do different work, but they get the same. And of course, as we know, democracy bad, communism good. Because every single communist person is smoking hot. Now, of course, Lenin waited for an uprising in Russia. One of the most trusted czars, Sergei Wright, went to Nicholas and said they need to industrialize the country, but no. So Nicholas, how about we industrialize our country by getting a bunch of money and building a bunch of factories?
No.
Oh yeah, isn't past your bedtime or something?
But I don't have my milk and Snuggies.
Fine, I'll call him. Hey, Logan K, we do need your help with Snuggles. Nicholas said no, so he took out a loan from the UK, and he needed to build some factories. Nicholas tried to fight Japan, so people would respect him, but he lost Japanese, Korea, and Manchuria. He lost to the Japanese. Japanese, small, Russia, big, Russia lost, Japan won. A dude named Father Kapan, tried to do a peaceful revolution to develop rights to Russia. It failed, and people died. Although Nicholas left the palace a few days earlier, then they brought in a truckload of troops to defend the palace. Then they opened up fire, 800 civilians dead. And they were so mad that it started the 1905 revolution. Then a dude named Leon Trotsky teamed up with some workers to build a political office called the Soviets. Then the revolution ended because most people were dead, and most of the poor people were dead, not the military. Then Lenin decided the only way left was a violent revolution. Although, now Russian people, happy because Nicholas and another guy, then Landon, decided if people weren't Then Lenin decided the only way left was a violent revolution. Although now the Russian people happy because Nicholas and another guy landed, decided if people were happy, then they wouldn't support a revolution, and then Lenin supported down after they needed a communist party. Now the Russian economy was booming, and all Nicholas had to do was not do anything, and then Nicholas reported to the guy with crazy powers named Rasputin. Rasputin and Nicholas became best friends. After Rasputin, he killed his son by taking away his aspirin. Then Oxu Ferdinand got assassinated in Austria, and they also thought that Serbians did, and now they're in the First World War. When everybody heard that Russia was in the war, everybody in Russia was supportive, even the communists, and everybody, because they didn't want a very stinky country being taken over by another very stinky country. Lenin wanted Russia so he could become the dictator. Then Rasputin died. We don't know how he died. During World War I, Russia was running out of food, so a bunch of women came together and started out a protest against the country. Then the men joined it. And then all the hell broke loose. Soldiers were firing on soldiers and getting arrested. Government officials are getting arrested. The Soviet building was put back up. Then Nicholas's train was stopped when he was going back to Moscow, and then after discussions he resigned. After all that, there was nobody to rule Russia, since Nicholas' son was too young and didn't want to do it, and Nicholas's brother didn't want to do it, so Germany thought that with them taking into Russia, they could do some stuff and take over. Lenin wasn't too happy with the current government or what was going on in Russia, so Lenin decided to give everybody land, bread, and he dismantled the other side, and now the Soviets have all the power. And then the Russians started protesting, looting, and then Lenin was forced to beat it in disguise and then go to Finland, or rushing through Finland at the time. Then a dude named Pronsky recruited General Polensky as his military commander, and then he instantly betrayed him and started another effort. And then Pronsky freed both of them, and now the Soviets, with the help of, they devised a plan now of the workers by side. They now love the people. Then Lenin got back to Finland after Pronsky betrayed again. Then he started a communist revolution. Even though Lenin was still holding on to the Bolsheviks, went into revolution mode, and they took key buildings over and over in Petrograd. They took over Petrograd in one day. People thought that Lenin was doing a dictatorship, which he was setting up Soviet stuff, but he was refusing to work with other politics parties. And then he got assassinated, but it failed, but he did get shot. And then one of Lenin's friends called Dropsky, I don't know how to pronounce his name, went to Germany, and they said no. He said that, and the Germans said no. So he said that they needed no war, no peace, which is basically when he stopped fighting the Germans and stopped fighting with them, and no peace treaty. And then, exactly as you expected, a bunch of Germans rushed in there. And then men started the Communist Revolution, and then the Soviet Union formed, they won, and in the night in Nicholas's mansion, he was placed under house arrest, and then he fled. He was allowed to live in Rockly, but when the communists took over, he wasn't. So when his family was in the middle of the night, they all woken up, led to the basement, and a bunch of drunken Bolsheviks killed off his family. Then Lenin began getting headaches, insomnia, and then the works, and he suffered strokes in 1992. Now with he became secretary. Now with Stalin, he became the secretary. He gave all his pals good jobs, then more pals. Then he gave good jobs. The cycle repeats. Lenin tried to fight back, but he was too sick, and he died. As Lenin, I want to know who did I put in charge? Please, Lenin, not. Whatever you do, please, not. Let it be Stalin.
Sir, it is Stalin. Sorry, sir.
Basically, now, World War II. And basically, the Soviet Union's part was, of course, when Stalin was in charge. he made a deal with Adolf Hitler, and then of course to invade Poland, and then in 1944 Hitler invaded the Soviet Union, and even though he was getting told by his generals multiple times, don't do it and stuff, prepared, he was going to betray you, he didn't listen. So, and it went something like this. We have major announcement. Hitler has just posted in Discord in the dictators group chat that he is going to invade you after he washes friends and drinks a whole bottle of Pepto-Bismol. You need to get ready. Soviet, shut up! I am Joseph Stalin. I control you, and I'm watching American sitcom right now. Hello, my beautiful U.S. citizens. I am Donald Trump, and I would like to announce us genociding every single kid in the U.S. because we have saw, me and MAGA, have saw that kids don't contribute to the economy. And thank you for coming to this meeting. Yeah, Donald Trump, we love you, yay! Now, we have the Cold War. Now, the Cold War started after World War II, and Joseph Stalin's at the door. And we're getting kidnapped. Everybody put your hands up and get kidnapped. Alright. Whatever your name is. I know you're a communist. I know you're a democracyist. And as Stalin, I absolutely hate freedom of choice. But I got a very one simple question. We of course got Boris Vodka, and he's ready to paint the walls red if you lie about this one question. Do you like Miss McCann? Yes, Stalin. I enjoy Miss McCann. Stalin, he is telling the truth. No, what do you mean? Nope. Nobody likes Soviets. Everybody just like Miss McCann. Why do you like her? Everybody hates her, even the communists. Oh no, I also like Miss McCann. Conime, go! Yay! Piper's opinion doesn't matter. What did you just say? Stalin, you absolutely know what to do now. Okay, guys? So, of course, as I was saying, after World War II, that's when the Cold War happened. Basically, when World War II ended, Stalin controlled most of Eastern Europe except Finland, Turkey, and Greece, which were under democracy, respectively. And when Circle said how there was a big iron curtain along Eastern and Western Europe. The Soviets wanted control of the Turkish Access Sea. They didn't do it, so they tried to take control of Iran. That also failed. Meanwhile, on the Soviet Union, it was not much better, because Stalin was starving his people, and then the Soviet Union now has nuclear bombs, so now the whole world worries. Now, the Soviets told that North Korea was okay to attack the South, since the Soviets set up the North Korean communist regime. Now it's 1953 and Joseph Stalin's dead. He also imprisoned all of his best doctors, so that's kind of on him. Now they have a new leader, Nick Khrushchev. He has a big plan called de-Stalinization, which is basically destroying all Stalin things. Statues, renaming Stalingrad. Then he destroyed a bunch of uprisings along the communist bloc. As Kirchhoff, I must absolutely destroy Western culture in the Soviet Union. Modern art, destroy it. Jazz, just destroy it. Democracy, that is so bad. But at least democracy is better than paging a crop top. Then the Soviet Union launched their first satellite and sent a person into space. Then the Soviets sent the Berlin Wall up, dividing East and West Berlin, which was set up when the Soviets invaded Germany. Meanwhile, in Central America, Fidel Castro and a buddy of his did the Cuban Revolution, and then the Soviets sent up a bunch of missiles into Cuba. They outed their current leader, Khrushchev, and now they have Nofeyverse. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He also liked to kiss guys. True story, by the way. But then Leonard died and he got replaced by a very, very old guy. He died. Then a new guy, and he got really, really old and died. And now they have a dude named Gorbachev. He also left countries or the Eastern Bloc do whatever they want. He put peace out, let them enjoy Western culture, and let Eastern Bloc decide their future and how directions. For the first time, they were elections. They held elections who was not who were not in the Communist Party, and then it was Gorbachev as a dude not in the Communist Party named Boris. And then Boris destroyed the Soviet Union, letting all the countries go free. Now time to go back in the time machine with all my friends and show my work to Mr. Corkins. Let's do this. Oh yeah, as Mr. Corkins, I absolutely love doing my job. Oh, Jeffrey. As you can see, class Jeffrey is my third favorite student. First is Piper, second is Logan, third is Piper. You know. The definitive ranking which everybody has selectively agreed upon. Now what do you have for me? Soviet Union work. Wow, this is actually really good information. Even though I was there with you and I actually saw you do work, I'm going to give you an F. So because you destroyed my house. And of course, Mr. Corkins, my beautiful now teacher. And of course today, a vase. Corkins. Ooh, cutie, I'm gonna name you Coname. Coname, why are you escaping? Okay.